Hello kids, welcome back to the playroom. Have you ever had one of those days in which nothing seemed to be going well for you? You got up late and had to rush out the door. You really wanted to hang out with a friend, but this friend was at soccer camp and that friend was on vacation, and the friend you really wanted to hang out with, well, they were at someone else's house. Well, today we're going to read a story about Alexander and his terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. And while we read this book, I want you to think about how Alexander was really feeling. So if you have this book, go get it and read it along with me. Alexander and the Terrible, Horrible, No Good, Very Bad Day by Judith Viorst. I went to sleep with gum in my mouth, and now there's gum in my hair. And when I got out of bed this morning, I tripped on a skateboard, and by mistake, I dropped my sweater in the sink while the water was running, and I could tell it was going to be a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. At breakfast, Anthony found a Corvette Stingray car kit in his breakfast cereal, and Nick found a junior undercover agent code ring in his breakfast cereal. But in my breakfast cereal, all I found was breakfast cereal. I think I'm gonna move to Australia. In the carpool, Mrs. Gibson let Becky have the seat by the window. Audrey and Elliot got seats by the window too. I said I was being scrunched. I said I was being smushed. I said if I don't get a seat by the window, I am going to be car sick. No one even answered. I could tell it was going to be a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. At school, Mrs. Dickens liked Paul's picture of the sailboat better than my picture of the invisible castle. At singing time, she said I sang too loud. At counting time, she said I left out 16. Who needs 16? I could tell it was going to be a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. I could tell because Paul said I wasn't his best friend anymore. He said that Philip Parker was his best friend, and that Albert Moyo was his next best friend, and that I was only his third best friend. I hope you sit on a tack, I said to Paul. I hope the next time you get a double-decker strawberry ice cream cone, the ice cream part falls off the cone part and lands in Australia. There were 2 cupcakes in Philip Parker's lunch bag, and Albert got a Hershey's bar with almonds, and Paul's mother gave him a piece of jelly roll that had little coconut sprinkles on top. Guess whose mother forgot to put in dessert? It was a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. That was it, because after school, my mom took us all to the dentist, and Dr. Fields found a cavity just in me. Come back next week and I'll fix it, said Dr. Fields. Next week, I said, I'm going to be in Australia. On the way downstairs, the elevator door closed on my foot, and while I was waiting for my mom to get the car, Anthony made me fall where it was muddy, and then when I started crying because of the mud, Nick said I was a crybaby. And while I was punching Nick for saying crybaby, my mom came with the car and scolded me for being muddy and fighting. I am having a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. I told everybody. Nobody even answered. So then we went to the shoe store to buy some sneakers. Anthony chose white ones with blue stripes. Nick chose red ones with white stripes. I chose blue ones with red stripes. But then the shoe man said, we're all sold out. They made me buy plain old white ones, but they can't make me wear them. When we went to pick up Dad at his office, he said I couldn't play with the copy machine, but I forgot. He said I was to watch out for the books on his desk, and I was as careful as I could be, except for my elbow. He also said don't fool around with the phone, but I think I called Australia. My dad said, "Please don't pick me up anymore." It was a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. There were lima beans for dinner, and I hate lima beans. There was kissing on TV, and I hate kissing. My bath was hot. I got soap in my eyes. My marble went down the drain, and I had to wear my railroad train pajamas. I hate my railroad train pajamas. When I went to bed, Nick took back the pillow he said I could keep, and the Mickey Mouse night light burned out, and I bit my tongue. The cat wants to sleep with Anthony, not with me. It has been a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. My mom says some days are like that. Even in Australia. Now, I agree that from what Alexander shared with us, it was a bad day. He was mad about the gum in his hair. He was disappointed that he did not get a dessert for lunch, and ended the day feeling lonely when the cat chose someone else's bed to sleep in. These are feelings that we can feel every day. I believe we can all empathize with Alexander in the fact that we have felt these same ways too. But I wonder, can a day be completely bad, or for that matter, completely good? Someone once said, every situation has something positive. Even a dead clock shows correct times twice a day. There are days that it is harder to find the positive things than other days. There will be times that it's really hard to be happy when someone else gets a dessert and we don't get one. Or when someone pushes us in the mud and then we get in trouble for it. There will even be days when you have to eat something you don't like for dinner. So, was there anything positive in Alexander's day? Do you think we could find at least 2 times in Alexander's day that something good happened? It was hard because Alexander did a great job telling us all about the horrible, very bad stuff. But just like the clock, twice in his day, something positive did happen. 1, he gets cereal for breakfast, and I know I have a kid who wishes that I would keep more cereal around the house for him. And then 2, his mom packed his lunch for him. That was one less thing he had to do in the morning before school. So some days are harder to find the positive things, but they are there. Now this does not mean that he didn't have a bad day. He did have a bad day, but I agree with his mom at the end of the book that some days are like that, even in Australia. But remember, tomorrow is always a new day. So how about you? Comment below if you can find positive things in Alexander's day that I missed. Like this video if you have had a bad day and have struggled to find the positive things. And don't forget to subscribe so that you can listen to more stories like this one. We'll play again next time. Bye.